So, if you're running a business, you know that IT problems are so much more than just a little annoyance. They can be a huge drain on everything. But what's the right way to handle them? Do you just hire someone to rush in when everything's break, or is there a smarter way to do this? That's exactly what we're going to figure out today. The best IT strategy for your business.
This quote, man, it really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We tend to think of IT support as a firefighter, right? Someone we call when the building is already on fire. But what if we started thinking of them as an architect? Someone who helps you build a system so strong and so stable that the fires never even start. That's how you turn those constant headaches into a real competitive advantage.
Yeah, if you're nodding along to this, I get it. You are definitely not alone. Every single minute your network is down or your team is fighting with some glitchy software, you're just bleeding time, money, and all that forward momentum. The good news, though, there is a clear path out of this cycle, and we are going to map it out right now.
When it comes to IT support, it really boils down to two main philosophies, two paths you can take. On one side, you've got the proactive approach. Think of this as your prevention strategy, all about stopping problems before they can ever start. And on the other side, you got the reactive approach, that classic break-fix model, where you're just dealing with problems as they happen, or, explode.
Okay, let's dig into that proactive model first, scheduled support. The absolute best way to think about this, it's like a personal trainer for your tech. It's not about waiting for a health scare to hit the gym. It's about regular, planned maintenance to keep all your systems in peak condition, preventing those issues from ever happening in the first place. And then, you have emergency support, the reactive model. So if scheduled support is the personal trainer, this is the paramedic. When a server crashes or some critical system just goes down, you make the call and they rush in to stop the bleeding. It's a lifesaver in a crisis, for sure, but it means you're basically just lurching from one disaster to the next.
Okay, so we have these two models, the trainer and the paramedic. To figure out which one is actually right for your business, we need to look under the hood at three really critical things: the real costs, the hidden risks, and of course, the impact on your company's growth. All right, let's talk money. And let's start with the number everyone thinks of first, that hourly rate. You can usually expect to pay around $100 an hour for a technician to come on site. Now, on the surface, that sounds pretty straightforward, but as you probably know, those hours can stack up, and they stack up fast.
And here's how that seemingly simple hourly rate can scale up. For a pretty small company, say 20 to 50 employees, that reactive, emergency-based support can easily balloon into a $30,000 annual expense. And all of a sudden, you're not just paying for a few fixes, you're funding a major line item in your budget. But, and this is a big but, even that isn't the whole story.
Because honestly, the most dangerous costs, they're the ones that never show up on an invoice. We're talking about the massive financial risks that come from downtime and, even more critically, from failures in compliance. Look, if your business handles any kind of sensitive data, and let's be real, most do these days, the stakes just get ridiculously high. You might be subject to strict regulations like HIPAA for health info, GDPR for customer privacy, or PCI DSS for credit card payments. Failing to comply with these isn't just a slap on the wrist. We are talking about crippling penalties, making your IT management your absolute first line of defense.
And if you're wondering what crippling actually looks like in dollars and cents, well, here it is. According to IBM, the average cost of a single data breach for a small business is nearly $3 million. Yeah, for most companies, that's not just a bad year, that's game over. A number like this completely changes the calculation for what it means to invest in proactive IT.
Okay, last big piece of the puzzle here, growth. A proactive, scheduled support model is designed to grow with you. It's like building on a really solid foundation that just gets stronger as you build on top of it. An emergency-only model, though, almost always becomes a bottleneck. You end up trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation that was meant for, a garden shed.
Okay, we've talked cost, we've talked risk, we've talked growth. That's a lot to juggle, right? So how do you put it all together and make a decision without pulling your hair out? Well, this is where it all comes together. We're going to use a simple decision matrix that just cuts right through all that noise and gives you a clear answer.
And believe it or not, it really is this simple. You don't need some kind of complicated formula. The right choice for your business really just boils down to two key questions. How big is your team, and what are your data compliance needs? That's it.
And here it is, the decision matrix. Let's just walk through this together because the logic is super clear. If you're a small team, maybe 1 to 10 people, with minimal compliance worries, a simple scheduled monthly checkup is perfect to keep things running smoothly. But see what happens when you grow to 11 to 50 employees. Your complexity and your risk increase,
So now you need a mixed model, scheduled maintenance plus emergency support on call. And for larger teams over 50, especially if you're handling sensitive data, you need the whole shebang, an extensive, proactive schedule backed up by a rock-solid emergency plan.
All right, you've probably found your spot on the matrix, right? So now you know what you need. The next step is turning that knowledge into a real plan, giving you the exact steps to move forward with confidence. So when you start talking to potential IT partners, you're going to want to keep this checklist in your back pocket. First, be crystal clear about your own needs using that matrix we just talked about. Then, check out local providers for their reputation, not just their price. And this is crucial. Ask them about their approach to preventative maintenance. If all they talk about is fixing broken stuff, that is a huge red flag. And finally, insist on clear documentation. You should never, ever have to wonder what it is you're paying for.
Ready to actually make a move? Here are your first 4 steps. Step 1, map out where the biggest IT headaches are for your team right now. Step 2, use that info to research providers and get detailed quotes. Step 3, and this is a pro tip, seriously, don't sign a long-term contract right away. Ask for a trial period to see how they actually perform. And then, step 4, review everything. Are things running smoother? Are problems actually getting solved for good? That's your answer.
So, let's end where we started, but with a whole new way of looking at it. IT support isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's a huge strategic choice. The real question you should be asking yourself is this: is your IT support just a safety net, something that's only there to catch you when you fall? Or is it a launch pad, something that's actively helping your business take off?